Hello everyone and welcome to the Italian Grand Prix weekend. We are here at the Cathedral of Speed. It's the fastest circuit on the 2015 CRC calendar. It's got 5.793 kilometers in length, 11 turns, 53 laps with a clockwise direction. A race into 306.720 kilometers. And this clearly is one of the most special races on the calendar. In what is going to be a very interesting weekend, I think, here at Monza. And it is going to be a very interesting race in terms of championship fight. Because, as I said on the preview stream yesterday, Esli has to win, basically. He basically has to win this weekend. Because anything greater than 50 points with 6 races to go, it's going to be quite hard to close. Anything greater than that. But anything smaller than that, then he still would go in to the final 6 rounds after this race with an outside chance, especially as he typically goes well around tracks such as Singapore, Suzuka, Brazil, Abu Dhabi, and Circuit of the Americas as well. He got pole at the Circuit of the Americas last year, as he did with many races last year. Obviously got the pole position trophy last year. But it's going to be a very interesting weekend, I think, here today. Obviously, we've got practice just about to get underway shortly. And it's going to be a very interesting session, I think. Obviously, we've got the long runs, but it's what's going to be the fascinating thing about this session. The fascinating thing about this session, what that's going to be. We just have a little bit of a delay due to a slight technical problem, but what's going to be the fascinating thing, we may actually have to miss the first few minutes of the session because we had to go into the game quite late. But it's going to be an interesting one. We're almost ready for FP2 to get underway. For FP1 here at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. And it's going to be an interesting one. It looks like we are not going to see the first few minutes. Really sorry about that, but at the end of the day, not a lot we can do about that at the moment. Just a glitch when hosting a session. It crashes when you skip sessions. We can't have any practice to miss. But it's going to be an interesting session still. It's only going to be like the first few minutes that we're not going to see. But we're going to give you as much of it as we can. Hopefully you'll miss as little as possible. But the session, I'm presuming, is about to get underway here. Yet the session is underway. The clock has started. Hopefully we'll be able to show you what's going on. We're just waiting for the game to load. Yep, and we now can cut you to the scene of the practice session. It's going to be an interesting session. And here you've got plenty of cars. So who was it who went out on track first? But we've got a load of activity at the start of the session. Or a few cars have already gone out. I believe it was the Shantana of Zach Sadiq who opened the... It's Zach Sadiq who opened the session for Shantana. Obviously, it is their home race this weekend. Obviously, Shantana. Obviously, the Italian fans have come in force to support the two Dork racing cars. Obviously, I'm sorry, I do still have a bit of a cough because for some reason with me, coughs take a while to go. So this weekend you may also have to cope with me coughing at times. Sadiq had to back off slightly there for a car exiting the pits. That's what could be a bit of a problem this weekend. And that's a lap gone there. I saw Wadesi, one of the Wadesi's gone out on track in the Yanata Roca. Let's see what he has in hand, but don't expect the first time to be fastest. Because remember, it's a starter session, it's a very green track, which means there's not much rubber laid down. But this track is the prime. This year, it's going to be. This year, it's going to be. This track is basically the Yanata Roca Kingdom. Lots of straights. And also, Yanata Roca have actually brought an engine upgrade to this race. But they've only put it on their car. They've not put it on any of their customers yet. And they're not planning to do so until Japan. Until Russia, I mean. They've not done it on any of their customers, but it's going to be... But whenever any of their customers gets a new engine, they... What we understand is they are going to get the engine when they have a new engine. This is a 29.5 SE starts the session with. And that's what we understand is going to happen. But I'm not really sure, because even if they have an engine upgrade, it doesn't actually count as a new engine. You only lose an engine if the engine fails. As Alex Moores is about to set a time, and he goes second at 29.6. So a 10th down on his teammate. Toby Jones has gone third fastest. And also, just to remind you all, Phoebe O'Connor is once again in the RTS for her 4th Thursday session of the season. Obviously preparing her for actually jumping up to the race seat for next year. To a race seat for next year. Track temperature is currently at 16 degrees. But before it was expected to be a completely dry weekend, but now people are believing that Sunday could be a washout. An utter washout. Could be like thunderstorms on Sunday. But still don't believe the weather forecast at this stage, because Canada, they said it was going to be, Monaco, they said it was going to be wet on race day. It wasn't. Canada, they said it was going to be wet on race day. It wasn't. So it could be completely bone dry come Sunday, for all we know. So you just never know. They say flooding could be a risk this weekend. Phoebe O'Connor and Louise Morrow, both RTS in the top 10. There's Essie trying to pass. Because slipstream's been actually increased for this race, they've actually set it so that being held up shouldn't be as much of a problem this weekend. Obviously it will, we should expect it to be a problem in Singapore. But this upgraded Yamaha engine, they are, GP are quite confident. We saw a bit of contact there between the HWR and the Wolfsburg-Noki. GP know the details of it, what the upgrade is going to be, and they are confident that that could actually bring them up the order. Because GP say they do have a huge upgrade planned for the Singapore Grand Prix, which is, they may not be competitive, and they say they may not be competitive in Singapore. Well, they should, like, well, the engine may not, the upgrades may not take full effect in Singapore, because they should expect to be good in Singapore anyway, because it's straight line speed that's their problem. In Monaco, they were reasonable, and the same with Hungary. Even though they lost 2 cars in Q2 in Hungary, which, due to traffic. But they are expecting obviously GP are expected to be reasonable anywhere in Singapore because it's a street track, but in Russia they are hopeful that their upgrade will take full effect. With the new YRT engine, because that's what it's been designed to accommodate. And because of that, maybe we could I've got a yellow out there. Could we expect... Was it down there? I think it might have been down at Della Roger, judging by the activity there. Just having a look at where that yellow flag was. Another yellow out there. Still not seen any sign of Dan Phillips or Matthew Tooson out on the track yet. Phillips is in the garage. He's looking like he can. He doesn't look like he's got like any technical problems. As Essie now actually goes fastest in traffic. The 29.3. He really did use those toes to good use though. And he's continuing to beat his best, but he won't enter the Gindana. As he now gets a tow from the Gindana, who just shuts him off and says, right, you're not getting a tow from me. But this is good pace from Walesi. Not seen any sign of Dan Phillips setting a time yet. We're going to have a look at him on this lap. But Walesi, let's see what the gap he currently has. 0.2 of a second back to Alex Moore's, which is a reasonable gap. And also we have news coming in that Oscar Minto will be driving for Baronasso in free practice 1 for the remaining races of the season, apart from if there's any that clash with the Formula E, which I don't see that there is. Here is Dan Phillips. At the moment, for the home favourites, Dork, they are currently 4th and 10th. Now 11th, as Lucy Woodward's gone faster in the Baronasso. Is it just me, or I think Will Buchan is a better qualifier and also better in practice sessions than Woodward, but in the races, Woodward just completely obliterates him. Still no sign of Matthew Toussaint. I'm not sure what the reason for that is. As Dan Phillips goes into the top 10 in the DMAD. We know DMAD should be good this weekend, considering the fact that they've got the YRC engine, which is powerful quads. They've not got the upgrade yet that YRC have brought. But the difference about Dork, they have actually brought in fact, all 3 engine manufacturers have brought engine upgrades to this weekend. But Dork have put it on all their customer teams. Obviously, Anataroka haven't. So all Dork customer teams should expect a boost in pace, but still, the Dork engine may not be as good as the old the previous Anataroka engine. Hannah Duran's gone up into 4th place. Matthew Toussaint has finally gone out on track. Alex Moores is on a personal best, as he now heads up to the Parabolica. He crossed the line and improves to a 29.5. Still 2 tenths behind Walesi's time, where he really used the towing to good effect. And now Matt Coombs is going to, I thought was going to use the towing to good effect there. Yeah, Woodward had a bit of a tow there from the HWR, which really helped. I think gained her at least a 10. So I wonder if for any team there's actually going to be any teamwork involved with like the towing. If you consider the fact that it could gain them time round here. Is Hawk about to use a tow from the HWR to propel her across the line? It didn't affect quick enough. Would improve their time. Tucson only went 22nd on that. He must have had a lot of traffic. As Tucson passes the CGP of Luke Julian. He rounds the final corner. Goes up into 17th, but still lower than you'd expect him to be. Obviously, Tucson having a very tough season. Obviously, with these new regulations for this year, with R Factor 2, the change to R Factor 2. Kujbia just haven't adapted well for some reason. I mean, they looked slow from testing. And of course, Toussaint's had probably the worst of it. Coombs is having a miserable season as well. Toussaint's had plenty of bad luck of his own. Twelfth for Toussaint. So Coombs be at 11th and 12th. Obviously, they are expecting to struggle this weekend. Woodward a little bit off down in 13th. With 7 minutes left of this practice session. Here is Zach Sadiq in the Chantanas. Essie to the 29.3. Further improves. Six minutes remaining of the session. As Dan Phillips and Chantal Hawke go side by side. Obviously, Dan Phillips was under investigation by the stewards last time out. Obviously, due to the incident with him, Toussaint, and Hawke, where Matthew Toussaint was quite critical about Phillips on the team radio. Yellow out there. Something's happened at Parabolica, and that's Esley and the HWR who get going again. That's what happened here. So he goes down the inside of Louise Morrow and then loses it. Morrow's session is done. To be honest, Morrow should really have seen him coming way before the contact. Essie's on his way again. another yellow out there. It's gone in now. Well, Essie's able to consistently lap in the 1:20:29 range, and it seems, I think 2 stops should definitely be possible. There's just no reason why it shouldn't be possible. There's Lucy Woodward up and still behind someone, not sure who it is, but it's behind the CGP. Still Wellesley fastest. He just breezes past the CGP car. Sienna Roca's straight line speed is immense. But it's definitely set to be an interesting one this weekend. Got just over a minute left on the clock. Choosing across the line. Now session's a little processional. As the session, the checker flag has come out. It is Wellesley who has got his weekend underway to the best possible starts. And he has ended as Alex Morse did improve to 24:29.1. But look at that gap. 1.5 seconds off is the next car. Staggering pace there from Sienna Roca. but it's Woodessley who has began the weekend on top. Of course, don't go anywhere. In just like 10 minutes time, we do have CGP2 practice coming up to obviously to end Thursday's action. But we're off and running here at the Autodromo Nacional di Monza. We'll see you, as far as CRC is concerned, we'll see you tomorrow for practice 2. Goodbye.